TNTMTheShow presents Comicast 320 with your host, Pablo Gunner. And we are going to get blazed today since it's 320. Wait, what is that? Okay, I'm hearing that it's 420, that's what that's for. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to cancel that Johnny Blaze appearance then. It just doesn't make sense. And we had Sloan Kettering. Johnny Hopkins was going to show up. We had a big thing planned for this. No, never mind. That's something else. That we don't do that. We talk about comics here on the Comicast. We review comics for the week. And for this week, it is January 10th. Comic books. So here at TNTM the show, we have our own grade scale, and it is by skim pass, variations, strong by, weak by, strong skim, weak skim, pass is pass, because it's just bad. Then we have other terms like back and bag of the week, because we're hardcore like that, aka BBOW, that's the acronym. And then we have runner-up for BBOW. And then there's also contender. Like I'll say, hey, this is a contender for BBOW, cut for runner-up. So yeah, when I'm by myself, it's 1 minute review. When there's two of us, 2-minute reviews. So that's obviously it's how it's going to go down. I do have a timer, like I said. Still, just some cheesy crap. So I'm going to be giving away all the digital codes here that I have, unless I forget. I don't know. No one called me out last week to say if I forgot anything. So I'm assuming I didn't, because usually I get called out for those types of things. But anyways, I think that's up. I know I'm doing it early because there was Albuquerque Comic Con coming up this weekend, and I don't know if we're going yet still. But regardless, I assume that everybody is going to go. So I wanted to get it out to everybody early, and I wanted to get it out of the way since I'm already done with my books and everything like that. And I knew that some of my crew is taking their families and stuff. So since that's the case, they will not be able to do this weekend. So, which is all good. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't think I really have anything nerdy to talk about because I haven't had time to get into anything. So that's it. So I'm just going to get into these comics. Cool? Move this over here. Idiot. All right, cool. So I'm going to start with Annual X-Men Gold #1. Or is it X-Men Gold Annual #1? The way that it's written, it's just kind of confusing. So anyways, and it's the 30th Excalibur anniversary, I guess. So that is a big part of it. We have writers Mark Guggenheim and Leah Williams. Penciler Aletha E. Martinez, inkers Aletha E. Martinez and Craig Young, colorist J. David Ramos and Dono Sanchez Almara. So yeah, this one is great because it's like it starts off and it's just the school and stuff, and there's a stork, and Logan makes a joke about her and Colossus, which is funny, and I love the way Kurt is utilized in this. And then they go and they visit Betsy and Captain Britain and his wife and stuff. They have a kid, so they had a little girl, and I don't know if she's a mutant or she has powers or what, but anyway, she's like aging rapidly. Like, she's really smart. I don't know if she's aging like physically fast, but she seems to be like super smart. So mentally. And so, yeah. And then there's this guy they're talking about. There's this guy, Star Hammer. And he's come to kill Rachel Gray. or Rachel, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's essentially it. And so yeah, you see, and it's pretty crazy because they do it with this baby and stuff. And then you see there's this other story that is this girl is in New York with her aunt, and she wants to meet Storm, and so they go to all the stuff, all the havoc that's being wreaked in New York City that are the X-Men, and she can't, and they're like, oh, we gotta go, sorry. And then Storm shows up so she gives her like her little, memorabilia stuff. It was fun, it was nice, it was sweet. To me, the best part though was like the Excalibur stuff, because like that stuff was just like total callback, and that's what Guggenheim's run has been all about, is like these 80s callback to that stuff. Instead of just having Chris Claremont return as the X-Men writer, which is what we actually want, this is what we're getting, which isn't bad, and even the other stuff, the Cullen Bunn stuff, isn't bad. So, anyways, yeah, this was really solid. It is extra money though. It is $4.99. It's only an extra $1. Totally worth it. I think it was fun for an annual. And if you're into Excalibur stuff, you'll really dig that. It was a lot of fun. It was really interesting. The second story was like more of like a PSA, kind of felt like a PSA. But anyways, I want to give it a strong buy, but not a contender. I don't want to be too biased, with that first half, even though the second half was good too. Here's the digital code. Q for Quentin, T for Trunks, 9, M for Mankey, Q for Quentin, J for Janky, K for Kilimanjaro, M for Mankey, D for Donatello, V for Victor, 7, and D for Donatello. Now I have Old Man Hawkeye number 1. It's number 1. And we have a creative team here that we've seen the art. I don't know about the writer. I've never heard of the writer, which is Ethan Sachs. The artist is Marco Cecchetto. I always mispronounce his name. He's even corrected me, and I've forgotten. But anyways, colorist is Andres Mosa. So yeah, we have Hawkeye, Clint Barton, and this is before he loses his sight, because I was like, doesn't he go blind? And he's doing this job for Justin Hammer, and then there's this Madrix gang, and so they've separated from the other guy, and they attack this job that he's doing, this shipment. And then he shows up to Old Man Logan and gives him like a package. He says it's an Xbox. I don't know. And then it's weird because there's like this Ultron with this Ultron 8, and this Clint, he shows up to see his daughter because he got the bad news that he's going blind and he might not be able to see again. So, and there's flashbacks of the past and stuff, what happened. And then you see that Venom combines with one of the Madrix gang that got away because he missed, because he finally has missed. And then you see who the marshal is of this area, this universe and stuff. It's interesting. It's cool. It's crazy because it's like, well, I know that Hawkeye survives this because he helps Old Man Logan in the original Old Man Logan storyline. But so that kind of takes a little bit of the edge away. But I still go like, this seems like it's an unfair fight because you have Hawkeye who's going blind versus another guy who's really good at, similar type of thing. So yeah, it looks phenomenal. I mean, it's Marco Cecchetto, right? Cecchetto? So yeah, but anyways, yeah, so it's phenomenal. It's really interesting, and I'm definitely down for more. So, and it's a strong buy. It's a contender. It's got me hooked. So yeah, but but I still feel like I'm going to give the digital code away anyways. P for Pedro, 9. B for Barrio, N for Novela, V for Villanueva, C for Carlos, 7. J for Josefina, 7. Z for Zacaria, V for Villanueva, and C for Carlos. Now I have Phoenix Resurrection number 3. This is what's confusing, is that it says variant 3 on the cover, so I just assume that it's a variant cover and just go like, oh wow, they're putting out an issue each week. But yeah, so they are, and it's $3.99, and it is Matthew Rosenberg as the writer, Joe Benet as penciler, Lorenzo Ruggiero as inker, Rochelle Rosenberg as colorist. So we have this thing going on with Jean Grey where she's in the ship and it's crashing into this lake and she's freaking the F out. And then all of a sudden, this guys who are fishing, they're like, hey, there's fish, there's all these dead fish. And then you see the phoenix rise, the flames rise rather. And then like she freaks out because like she's in this other city, this other town, and like she just, woke up and there's water around her, but she's in a grocery store and they're like, hey, she's fine. We're calling the doctor. She leaves, she goes, she's to Logan, and Logan's he's the guy, he's the mechanic, and she actually accidentally uses her powers and hurts him, but he's like, oh yeah, that was weird, this earthquake and stuff. And so like she's just like running away from this mental construct of Jean Grey, and like that's what all this is about. And the X-Men, they go to Emma Frost and they ask for her help, but they can't find anybody else. And Emma Frost tells them like, oh, this is where she probably is, like hiding herself and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's one of those things, though, where it's like, why is it that Emma Frost is available when she was in the situation that happened at the end of the Jean Grey book, which they make references to, Jean Grey number 10, yet none of those other characters are available. She's available, and she won't really help. I mean, she helps them. But the other ones are not available, even though it doesn't make, the continuity sucks. It's one of those things where, like, I'm sorry, but I'm a continuity whore, and I need it. So you just, like, keep your crap straight. That's all I'm saying, Marvel. Keep your crap straight. Like, you can't get your writer, you can't get your editors on the same page to be like, oh, hey, this line doesn't really make sense because why is she available and the others aren't available when they were all in the same situation? I don't know. So those little kinds of things irk me. And this whole thing kind of irks me too, just because, well, I don't really like Jean Grey that much. I mean, I love the Dark Phoenix saga. It's my favorite thing. I think it's the best thing ever, but not so much because Jean Grey isn't acting like Jean Grey, though. That's the thing. And so, yeah. Anyways, and I hate this constant, like, oh, she's back and she's dead and she's back. And it's like, I get it. Because of the Phoenix, she can come back to life all the time. And because Wolverine can come back because he heals, and that's why he's always coming back. Whatever. There's all these excuses like buttholes. So yeah, I feel like other people really, I don't know, are going to like it a lot, but I'm not going to let that change my decision. I'm like, it's like touch and go with me, like it's more interesting, but it's annoying at the same time because there's things, and there's certain writing that is really done really well. Like I feel like Beast has been written really well. But anyways, I'm going to give it a buy. Is what I'm going to give it. Okay. Here's the digital code. Tell me what you think if I'm wrong. 26, G for George, W for Wesker, V for Vegeta, C for Camp, Y for Yank, C for Camp, 2, S for Saiyan, 9, 8. On to Runaways number 5. Writer is Rainbow Rowell, artist Chris Anka, color artist Matthew Wilson, and this one just goes full bonkers because we have the grandma, and she just pretty much is straightforward and like, I'm doing tests on you because I want to know what time travel does to somebody, and I'm pretty much an evil scientist. Like, Molly tells Gert the truth, like, yeah, grandma's pretty much an evil scientist, but she's not that bad, and she gives you cookies, and I kind of like my life because she doesn't really mess things up. And oh yeah, by the way, the cats, they have like psychic powers, like they can read your mind. So like, I don't know, and they're like trying to devise this plan to run away, and yeah, it's just weird. And then Victor like finally talks to Chase and is just like, Chase, you're so dumb, which is funny. I like the Chase, you're dumb thing, but like, it's weird because it conflicts with the show, which the show makes more sense than the book now, even though the books stick more closely. And then Catalina shows up with Taniko and is like, hey, they just have a chat that, gets weird, in a good way. You're not pervy, but anyways, I don't know. Yeah, so Chase and Nico and Carolina are like, hey, we should probably go save Gert and Molly, just because, she definitely gave off a evil scientist vibe, So yeah, it's just great. This is so good. This is so good. And I really hope that people jump onto this. I really hope people do. Honestly, like, this is a book that has been going on like off and on for a while, and it was really good at its beginnings, and then they kept it going. I stopped reading it after a while. But anyways, like, it feels like it's back. It's just back to its original core feeling, that's what makes it so great. So this is a strong buy. This is a contender. I'm going to hold on to this digital code. Oh, man. Now I have Darth Vader number 10, which is written by Charles Soule, pencils by Giuseppe Camuncoli, inks by Danielle Orlandini, colors by David Curiel. And so we have Jocasta Nu, and she is attacking Darth Vader with this lightsaber gun, essentially, where it shoots out like lightsaber blasts. She put her lightsaber, I think, into it, and like, it's just crazy. And so the blasts are too intense for Darth Vader, and she's like, I know who you are. The robot said who you are. So you betrayed us all, and just like everything. And I just love like his anger and his hate and, his fear. And he gets what he wants from her. He wants that list. And she's like, do you want to keep that list? Because, the thing is, the Emperor wants it so that he can replace you and just make more, he's just going to constantly make this huge empire, like the Jedi did, and stuff. And so what do you want to do? Do you want to be replaced? And so the mission was kill her, but save her, or not kill her, save her, and get any information from her. He got information. He had her captured alive. And, but different, it's the Emperor is not an idiot, but neither is Anakin. Completely. Not completely. He is somewhat an idiot because he was played kind of easily. If you saw that fanfic movie, Revenge of the Sith. So, and people are upset about Return of the Last Jedi. Get the F out of here. So anyways, yeah, this is top notch. This is top notch stuff. This is just, it's brilliant. It looks great. And it's just, I can't complain. Can't complain about it. I can't. I could, yeah. So strong buy and a contender, and I'm really I'm really tempted to keep this digital code too. All right, now on to X-Men Blue, number 19, written by Cullen Bunn, penciler R.B. Silva, inker Adriano Di Benedetto, color artist Rain Beredo. So this one we have the X-Men, and they have arrived in this time when the X-Men are fighting off Magneto for the first time, final time. It's confusing. Well, the Brotherhood is dead, and even like Xavier shows up, and he can walk and everything like that. And they sent a missile that Magneto cannot control that was just there to mess them up. And they're like, yeah. And then you realize that you're like, there's something wrong with these X-Men. These X-Men are different. So you originally thought like these X-Men were were originally them, just like, hey, their time stream was fixed and that's it. And when they went back, it was fine. No, somebody replaced them and it wasn't them. And this whole book is essentially like a mystery of that is revealed at the very end that is a huge tie-in to Bendis's run, which was so solid and totally underrated. And I love that Cullen Bunn is tying his run into that run. And I think that's why that this run is so good, is because he's tying it in with that, how it started, and instead of all of the other stuff that was going on. And when you realize the reveal, you're like, this is awesome. Okay, this is gonna work. But I'm also okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still, it's great. It's just great. That's all I know is that I didn't see this coming, and they messed with our heads really well. Like, great job. So wow. Strong buy, contender. I'm saving this code for sure. All right. Miss Marvel number 26. G. Willow Wilson is the writer. Nico Leon is the artist. Ian Herring is the color artist. And this one picks up where it left off. They are fighting this giant frog robot monster. And, they're like, oh, we got to distract him and stuff. This girl that is pretending to be Miss Marvel. And so, they end up, they're like, okay, something's going on. This is a lot like what this whole series started with, but it's different. They're using old people instead of young people because, young people notice young people disappearing, old people disappearing. Who's going to notice them? They're already kind of, with retirement homes, right? But man, the dialogue in this is just so good, and it's so funny. It's so witty. And just the way that things are done in this are just so phenomenal. I love it. It is fantastic. It's crazy because now it's going to have to be like Team Miss Marvel is going to have to go save this girl that went off on her own and stuff. It's with this other dude, Red Dagger or whatever. So yeah, it's good. It's solid. It's a solid issue. I give it a strong buy. I give it contender. Here's the digital code. F for Familia, Z for Zorro, M for Marcos, G for Guillermo, 3, A for Almos, K for Kilo, K for Kilo, K for Kilo, 8, I for Ignacio, H for Hector. Now I have Archie, number 27, with Mark Waid as story by Mark Waid. That's what it says. Art by Audrey Mock. Colors by Kelly Fitzpatrick. Lettering by Jack Morelli. And so we have Archie, and he's like, I really don't like choices, having to choose. I'm really, I don't like that. But then, like, both these people that have just given this choice to these people. They like are pulled from their situation, so then they are given time to like dote upon it, which is great. Archie's like, and then Dalton Doily, he's making gadgets and stuff, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing, and Veronica's like, oh, she's like, I think he should be with her just because of what's going on and stuff. And Jughead's like, all right, heads or tails. And he's like, you can't do that to me with a coin. And he's like, well, what are you going to choose? Which person, And so he decides, and then he goes to visit that person. And then she's like, well, I don't want you with me because you pity me, and I don't want us to be together because this brought us together, but more so because you just want to be with me. And then, she also turned down, but yeah, so yeah, she turned down everybody kind of. So yeah, it's interesting, very much so. I like it a lot. It's great. It's good stuff. So, strong buy, contender, good stuff. This is like real stuff, man. I feel like this is like legit stuff. So that is it for the first half. It is time for a commercial break, and I'm going to be talking about one of our sponsors, which is Age of Comics, located at 3700 Osuna Road Northeast, Suite 513, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87109. Their phone number is 505-884-1776. And the website is ageofcomics.store. And they're usually open from 11 to 6 is their usual hours. Those are some sweet hours. That's not even a full 8-hour day, man. I wish I could I know they put in a full hour's day's worth of work because they get there early and they stay there late. But like of hours of operation, and I don't even think that's a full, but yeah. So anyways, that's a sweet deal for them. You know what else is a sweet deal for them? They're also going to be at Albuquerque Comic Con this weekend. They'll have a booth there. And so make sure you check them out and buy some Funko Pops from them and whatever else, because I bet you there's a Danny Trejo Funko Pop or a Machete Funko Pop that they probably got just for this con so that you can get it, and then you can get it signed by Danny Trejo, or whoever. I bet they have Sting, Rey Mysterio, maybe, and sure, plenty of people from Walking Dead. Herschel, Coral's going to be there. Others, I bet they have those Funko Pops as well, and figurines. I've seen them, and I know that they have. I bet they have Lucy. I know they have Lucy. I've seen Lucille, the vampire bat, in their shop before, so I bet they will take those to the con, and you can buy them and get them signed by all the Walking Dead people, which would be really cool to have, and just see if you could get all the Walking Dead cast to sign, their own Funkos or their, and Lucille, you know what I mean? Like that would be cool. Right. So yeah, totally. But yeah, there's really cool dudes. It's actually, I think it's like 3 brothers that are running now. There's Greg. I think he's the oldest, maybe. There's Jeff, and then there's Matt. I'm going to say Matt's the youngest. If he's not, he's at least the handsomest, probably because he looks, a lot like me. But anyways, yeah, so I love BSing with those guys and just, shooting the crap with them. I still need to bug Matt about Star Wars. I hope I get to ask him this weekend if I can go, because I might just buy my own pass for Saturday and do my own thing, I don't know if I can go shirtless Kylo Ren or not, though, because I don't know if you can be shirtless. But that's what I want to do, is go as shirtless Kylo Ren. But yeah, anyways, yeah, so they're great to talk to, but yeah, they mostly focus, they're really, really hardcore about the comics. They have like a vault. I think they call it the Danger Room or something. And they have like a Sentinel up in their store. But it looks like he's like bashing his head through the wall, like searching for mutants. Mutant detected, epic. So yeah, it's just, and then they have a Spider-Man pinball machine. It's just cool store and stuff, and it's just top notch. So make sure you go and check them out at the con, of course, as well as go to their store. Follow them on Facebook. They also post a video usually every Tuesday showing what they are going to have available Wednesday. So that's really cool for comics and for any statues, figurines, all that good stuff. And they have a lot of that stuff at their store too. So like, yeah, need to get stocked up on some stuff. It's on some collections. Yeah. So yeah, check them out. Time to get back to some books with Old Man Logan. 33. Writers Ed Brisson, Mike Deodato is artist, Frank Martin is color artist. And so we have like the first supposed meeting of Mariko and Logan. We're over. And yeah, and then he calls her out right before she's about to make her death blow, and it distracts her for a second, and then they get back to fighting. He runs away as much as he hates running away. And yeah, man, this paneling is just epic, and Gorgon is pissed. He is lit that she did not kill him and stuff. And then you see not Scarlet, Silver Samurai, the son, I think he's the son, and he's, he has all this tech, and that's why he's still alive and stuff. I love how they explained that, because I was like pissed. I was like, how is he alive? They won't tell me. It's driving me mad. So yeah, they finally did, and I'm so glad they did. And they team up to take down Gorgon and Scarlet Samurai, but he himself was like, I don't want, don't kill her. But yeah, the way that fight goes is it's frustrating, but it's kind of like it's kind of like a victory, but it doesn't feel like a victory. It's bittersweet. I think that's what I was looking for in my head, brain, skull, thought, thinker box. So yeah, this is brilliant. This is so good, and I love. Somehow they've recaptured the essence of what Wolverine is all about in Old Man Logan, which is another reason why I don't get why they're bringing him back or brought him back. But we'll find out, because they'll probably kill this one off, and then hopefully they can continue the greatness of kind of like this tone with the returned Logan. So, yeah, but yeah, top notch, strong buy and contender, and I'm going to hold on to this digital code till the end. Next is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, number 36. It's $2.99. It is Robert Venditti as the writer. We have pencils as Jack Herbert and Jose Luis. Inks, Herbert McRae, Cam Smith. Colorist, Jason Wright. And yeah, we have this epic fight against the controllers, and I love it when an artist utilizes the lanterns' imagination or their own imagination through the lanterns, because then it ends up being epic, and it's crazy. And I love the way that they do, how they team up. They're like they call themselves the Four Horsemen from like wrestling, and so they they allow Jon Stewart to do his thing, but then the Guardians, they do their thing, and it's just cool. Unfortunately, they get away, but it's like they're like, for another day, and you're like, come on. But it reestablishes the Guardians and stuff, so that's cool. And then like the evil people are like, we're gonna do our own thing, we're gonna bring back our own guys too. So we're gonna have our own army and stuff. So good stuff. It's good stuff. Top notch. I want to, yeah. And I don't know. This was another one where I'm like, the ending was kind of like another bittersweet victory book where I'm like, that, it bugged me, So, but that just means it's going to come back for later. And it's going to be even more epic when it comes back. So I'm going to give it a strong buy and a contender. Now I have Flash number 38. It's $2.99. And it is Josh Williamson as the writer, Scott Collins on art, and then Hi-Fi on colors. And we have a brawling going on, a brawl between Captain Cold, and he's just beating up on Barry because really he just, shoves people and runs fast, but then his buddy helps him out, turns off the power generator thing, so then he can use his powers. So, and then he's kind of like, all right, maybe I can trust you. And then he's like, Wally, watch out. And Wally's like, oh yeah, I'll help. And he's like, no, that's the exact opposite. And so, yeah, they crack this case and stuff. And then there's just so many interesting aspects of this story. Like Godspeed just being like, I realized I was wrong. Like, I'm messed up. I screwed up and I deserve to be in here and everything like that. And, and as well as there's other things that are getting played in here. Like, there's like a mole sort of thrown in there. And then the relationship between Iris and Barry, hopefully that goes somewhere. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this. It was top notch. I like it a lot. I don't know. I feel like the art could have been a little bit better, maybe, but it's still pretty solid. So I'm still gonna give it a strong buy and a contender. On to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 78. This is $3.99. We have story Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, and Tom Waltz. Script Tom Waltz. Art Damien Cusiero. Colors Rhonda Pattison. And so we have this guy, and he's talking to the senator like, hey, man, help me out. Give me the funding I need and stuff. And then you see the news and, like, how they're just, like, going, oh, yeah, they're messing up. I don't know if they're messing up the footage, but they just have bad footage, and they're like, yeah, they kind of look like, they have some weird armor and stuff and these crazy weapons. It seems, like it might be alien. Then they're going like the Triceratons are going to attack this homeless guy. So then the purple dragons come out of nowhere, which is Casey and his gang, and they attack the Triceratons. Then his dad shows up, which is freaking epic. And then April's parents are like, we need to help somehow. Then the Turtles go to the Foot Clan to have a little chat with them, and the leader of the Foot Clan, he's like, nope, I'm teaming up with this guy, and that's that. And you're not going to talk to them. You're staying here until things are safe. And it's like, what? Like, Splinter has gone off the deep end. He's like straight up pissing me off in this book. Like, I just want to be like, Splinter, you know what? F you. And that's, I think, how like kind of like the Turtles feel right now. Especially certain turtle. There's a certain turtle in that group that is definitely, how he is. So he's definitely, yeah. Because of that, it's a strong buy and a contender. Oh, man. On to Punisher number 220. Writer Matthew Rosenberg, artist Guiu Villanova, colorist Lee Lowridge. And so yeah, there's this military, this like keeps on trying to recruit people, and Punisher shows up and he stops them. And then this lady's like, here, have this meal. And he's like, you don't want to offend my mom, do you? And stuff. And so he has like their horrible food. But yeah, then he's like, all right, well, where are they taking you guys? And so he's like, he goes to the camps. Okay, there's other camps. So if I can't find this guy, no one's going to tell me, then I'll bring him to me by destroying all his camps. So it's kind of like a montage of him like messing all these camps up. But then somebody sends other people that have other armors similar to his after him. And so you see him go one-on-one, and he manages to win the fight. But then like a whole crew of them show up, and yeah, he is not doing well in this fight. And it is crazy. Like, this is so intense. I didn't think I was going to like this at all. And I just got it because I was like, oh, it's a new arc. It's a new writer. It's a new creative team. You know, I'll check it out. I'll give it a chance. So, and I did. And it just keeps getting better and better as it goes on. Like, it's blowing my mind the way that it's being done, because it's like, okay, this person knows Punisher well enough to go like, okay, this totally works. This is totally viable. And the way that the art just keeps getting better as well. And just the implementation of this, it almost seems like a gimmick, but the way that it's done, it doesn't necessarily feel like a gimmick. I don't know why, but it doesn't, even though it is, essentially. Because at some point, like, it's got to fall apart or it's got to be destroyed, and then it's just going to be Punisher. So, yeah. But yeah, it's a phenomenal book. So definitely get it. It's a strong buy. It's a contender. I'm going to save the digital code. On to Daredevil 597. Charles Soule is the writer. Stefano Landini is the artist. Matt Mia is the color artist. And yeah, we have Matt Murdock has taken the job to be, what is it, like deputy something? Deputy, first deputy mayor. So yeah, which is essentially means nothing. It really doesn't mean anything. It's a job where you're like the figurehead, like you just do everything for them, you know, sort of like not any of like the legwork, but just like, you know, showing up to stuff and like, yeah, you can tell he's just playing him. And that's what's great is that Foggy Nelson shows up and, you know, he's like, you think that you're playing him, but he's playing you. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm the inside man now. You know, I'm the fly on the wall. And he's like, yeah, but he probably already knows that. So, you know, and what I'm thinking too is that like Murdoch is listening in on his conversations, but is Fisk listening in on his? And that freaks me the F out. And I kind of hope they would do something like that, but I don't think they will. I'm not entirely sure. But then you see him suit up as Daredevil because he's like, well, I still got to do the Daredevil thing, even though it's risky. He does do it, and it is risky, but then he gets help from the Inhumans, and they're like, oh, this guy that you stopped before, like he got out, and we need your help stopping him and stuff. And so, yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty much how that plays out. It's pretty crazy. The thing is I didn't read that other thing that they're talking about. So I don't care. I'm not invested in that. Now, if you were, you're probably totes jacked off about it, right? You're probably like, oh, heck yeah, this villain is making a comeback. You know, that's always cool when like, you know, they'll do it and then they beat them and then they're like, oh, they get out and like, oh, it's going to be way worse now, which it does seem way worse for Daredevil. So it is going to be way harder for him. So I am interested to see how this plays out, but I don't really know how this plays out. The villain does remind me of a villain from BioShock 2. Was it 2? Which one was the one that was the guy that would make like art out of dead bodies and stuff like that? Anyways, and I'm sure there's other things like that too that exist out there. But anyways, yeah, so interesting, really solid. I'm going to give it a strong buy. Here's digital code. F for Familia, Z for Zorro, M for Marcos, A for Alamos, 8, M for Marcos, I for Ignacio, 1, K for Kilo, 9, L for Lupita, 9. Now, Avengers No Surrender Part 1. It's Avengers number 675, but it's Part 1 of No Surrender. And there's actually a lot of people on this book. We have Mark Waid, Al Ewing, and Jim Zub as the writers. Then Pepe Larraz as the artist. David Curiel as color artist. So we have this guy that he's just like laser or something like, or lightning, I think. He's lightning. And he's doing work, and then, Falcon's doing stuff. Like, things are just going haywire all over Earth, and they're pretty much calling all the Avengers and stuff, and they're like, hey, all this stuff's going wrong. We need to join together and save as many people as we can, because just like the Earth has been moved from one location to another location, to like another universe or something like that, because they can't get a hold of Alpha Flight, and Alpha Flight's like, the Earth is gone. And so they are pretty much calling everyone into play. Like, you see the U.S. Avengers, you see the Avengers, you see the Unity Squad, even though they're supposedly not called that anymore, but that's what they are, the Uncanny Avengers. And then, I don't know why they call themselves the Unity Squad. It's a dumb name. But yeah, pretty much all the Avengers teams and stuff coming together. And then, like, some of them are, like, frozen. It's weird. So they're, like, calling all the reserves and everybody that's ever been an Avenger, and they're calling them together. And so there's some beef there, and there's some weird stuff going on. But, yeah. I don't know who this person is at the end. I'm like, is that the person that they killed, didn't kill, killed, come back? I don't know. So, yeah. It's all right. Here's the thing. I'm not reading any of the other books. There's a lot of characters. I don't know who they are. I don't care who they are. And even the ones that I do, I didn't care that much. I really think that this might be awful. Despite, like, the art is great, and the creative team, like the writers even, like, but I just feel like, I don't know, I don't like this type of thing. And this just, it's an Avengers event book, essentially, and I think they kind of canceled all the Avengers books and just made them into one Avengers book, and then each creative team is just going to take a week, I think, at each book or something like that, at each issue, instead of doing what they were doing, because it probably wasn't, like, U.S. Avengers, who cares? And then Uncanny Avengers, also another one that wasn't that great. And so it was just the main Avengers title that was pretty solid. So, yeah, I don't know. This book is, I'm going to give it, you might be able to skip this one, maybe, I'm thinking maybe. So I'm going to go with a weak buy on this one. I know, I'm sorry, but I mean, the art is great, but I just feel like, yeah, I'm just not hooked, I'll skim the next issue and see. I'll probably get it just because it's part 2 or whatever, or the second issue of this new thing they're doing. Yeah, so here's digital code. Tell me what you think. F for Falcon, C for Camo, M for Megaton, U for Ultron, Z for Zach, 5, T for Thomas, 6, M for Machine, D for Diego, C for Carlos, and V for Villain. On to Batman Detective Comics, number 972. It's $2.99. And we have James Tynion IV as the writer, Miguel Mendonca as the penciler. I want to say Diana Agia is the inker, and then Jason Wright is the colorist. So yeah, we have Clayface, and he's gone pure evil because the victim syndicate gave him this injection, and so he's like gone pure evil. And so Batman is fighting him, and then he realizes that that was just a distraction, that he's actually doing something else. He's going through the sewers or something like that. So now they have to stop them because he's actually going for the Belfry, and then they get attacked by Clayface, which is also trying to get with like his other remnant. Well, they're trying to break loose these other remnants of himself that are from their danger room, but they use Clayface for it, or like part of Clayface for it. And so yeah, he was like, for a second, like they had their chance, they missed their chance, and yeah, it looks bad. It looks like it's going to be very bad for them in the next issue because it's like a clay, like a monster. So yeah, and then of course, like this is the event too where like supposedly Batwoman's gonna do this horrible thing. So yeah, it's really interesting though. I'm definitely down. There's some good emotional moments and stuff, and this is some good like some switcheroos on you. They're like, that was a good one. Yes. So, and they're like, oh, I forgot about that. Dang. So this is has a lot of good parts in it. So I'm going to give this one a strong buy and a contender. Now I have Superman Action Comics number 995. This is $2.99. It is Dan Jurgens as the writer. Brett Booth is the penciler. Norm Rapmund is the inker, and then Andrew Dalhouse is the colorist. And so they've landed in Booster's time now in the future, and these Vindicators have followed them, but now Superman has his powers back because they're back, in the right time, in the right place. And so, then Superman's like, why should I help this guy? He's a dirtbag and stuff. And then like this scanner machine thing like explains like, oh, his dad manipulated him and stuff like that. And so he realizes it as like a similar situation that was going on with him and his dad. Is this evil version of his dad or whatever. And so he just tries to make it up for his mom. They time travel, but then it gets, things get messed up again. And so now they end up in another different time, but I'm not sure if I don't know if it's a different place or not, but it's a different time. So it's in the past, but the past of time change, or is it the future? I don't know. I just know they're in a different time and possibly a different place. So yeah, it's interesting. I like where it's going, and I'm really surprised with how well this is going. Like, I'm really impressed with it. So I give it a strong buy and a contender. But that's it. That's all the books for this week. So it is time for me to announce my back and bag and runner-up of the week. So yeah, runner-up of the week for Showsies. I know that biz right there. There's so many good books this week. It's hard to pick, but I think once I dial it down, it might be easy. Let's see. Okay, so I got Old Man Hawkeye number 1, Runaways number 5, Darth Vader 10, X-Men Blue 19, Old Man Logan 33, Punisher 220, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 78. And jeez. This is just so good, so much goodness here. So damn it. There's too many good things here going on that it's way too hard to pick. So all right. Shit. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to cheat and do something that my good old bud does, because he's not here. So I'm going to take a play from his playbook, and do like 2 runner-ups, because why the F not? Which is I'm going to go with X-Men Blue number 19 and Runaways number 5 as my runners up, as my tie for runners up. Because like, yeah, it just blew my mind. I just feel like, X-Men Blue, because okay, so it's revealed. I'm going to reveal it. Full spoiler alert. If I don't think I said it at the beginning, but I'm saying it now, and you should go without saying, But they reveal that the Brotherhood, it's the Brotherhood, the future evil Brotherhood of mutants that is Charles Xavier II, Bruiser, Raze, Beast, Zorn, Ice Thing, and Old Man Deadpool, that they were posing as the original X-Men this entire time. And when they came back into their own time, that is what it was. And I'm like, oh my God, that's freaking brilliant, because I was like, this is stupid, this is dumb, And now there are some facets that they might have some continuity issues with, which is Jean Grey dies in Jean Grey number 10. So at some point, they're going to have to separate her from this group, and she's going to have to go off and die in her own book. Otherwise, this is going to really annoy me and piss me off if they keep her in this book till the end of its incarnation, because I really think that this team is going to go back to being them in this time, So yeah. Anyways, here's a digital code. C for Carlos, T for Tomas, Z for Zorro, U for unknown, K for Kilo, Q for Quintana, L for Lupita, D for Diego, I for Ignacio, V for Villanueva, 1, and I for Ignacio. And like I said, Runaways, okay, there's parts in this too, like I said, spoilery stuff where it's just like, Molly knows that her grandma's like an evil scientist pretty much, and that she created her parents. Like, her parents were created by her grandma. And she even says, like, oh yeah, your parents, they could have been so much more if they would have let me experiment on them more. I could have given them way more powers. But, they decided to just be cheap and stuff. And yeah, it's weird and stuff. And yeah, it's just like Gert left, and so now Chase is like, oh, like she doesn't want to be with me, and Gert is just, yeah, and yeah, it's, and then Victor, talking to Chase and stuff, like that whole thing was great. And then we have Carolina, and she goes to Nico, and Nico makes a move on her, and she's like, hey, I got a girlfriend. And then like I said, Chase shows up with his fist of guns, and he's like, we have to go save the girls. And then, yeah, the grandma, she found out though that they were going to run away. So, but yeah, they show up at that exact time to rescue them. So it's going to be a throwdown in the next issue. Let's see what evil grandma, scientist grandma can do. It's going to be a blast. So here's the digital code for this one. H for Hamilton, 3, V for Victor, F for Frank, Q for Quantum, C for Camp, 1, M for Milton, 7, M for Milton, B for Bravo, U for Unknown. But you gotta know I'm predictable AF, right? And that my back and bag has to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because it got me pretty lit. It got me pretty emotional, and it was pretty intense when Casey Jones teamed up with his dad. Well, I mean, it wasn't so much teamed up with his dad, but his dad showed up to like, because his dad is like super powered and helps him fight the Triceratons. And this whole thing is a complete misunderstanding, all because these stupid this stupid government jackoff that, screwed things up. Like, they could have been peaceful, but instead he was like, let's make peace. Boom. And it's like, who makes peace? Like you're an idiot. You just look at them and be like, they look way stronger than us. You know what I mean? Like, they have technology that's way more advanced than us. Like, maybe I should get a good idea of what, before I'm pulling a gun on them. Yep. So Yeah, it's but that's the guy is, you know, he's an idiot. But yeah, and Splinter just pissed me off because he's decided to team up with this government guy to defeat the Triceratons so that he can take over the city essentially. And I'm like, yeah, you went full dark side, Splinter. So I'm kind of like waiting for the moment when the Turtles might have to take down Splinter and the Foot Clan again, or something like that. That's going to be crazy if and when that happens. I don't know. I'm interested to see where this book goes always. So strong buy contender. Yeah, this is back in bag. And like I said, I cheated with Bebow and did that this time only, I think. That was an homage to my hombre, JD. But I think I do still have a few books that I need to give away here. So a few digital codes to give away. So I definitely, Punisher is one of them. And like I said, it's so good. Here's the digital code for Punisher 220. Q for Quantum, N for Nova, Q for Quantum, Y for Yellow, A for Alpha, Y for Yellow, K for Kill, C for Charlie, V for Victor, 9, W for Wilson, 4. Then I believe also Old Man Logan, number 33. I think I need to give this digital code away as well. And here's the digital code for it. F for Familia, Z for Zora, N for Marcos, A for Almos, D for Diego, H for Hector, S for Senor, 39, H for Hector, D for Diego, W for Juanita. And Darth Vader, number 10. Here's the code for that. F for Falcon, Z for Zabrak, M for Millennium, Z for Zabrak, B for Bastion, G for Guilt, H for Home, Q for Quantum, 3, H for Home, 6, R for Righteous. That's it for me for this week. Thank you for watching or listening, and I'll try to get this edited as soon as possible and turned into audio for everybody. So tell me what your back and bag of the week is. Runner-up, contenders. Seems too much, but just what you give on the codes, especially the stuff I gave away. I want to know what you think on it and stuff like that. I want to talk nerd to me, and so I can talk nerd to you and stuff. Yeah, it's a good time, and maybe we'll get to do that this weekend at the con. If we get passes or if I decide to go on my own, we'll see. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Though, I just want to say that my life has changed a lot since a couple years ago. Mostly because of my job, and my job has changed. Like stages of my job has changed my life, and because of that, I don't have time to keep up on this as well as I used to. But there has always been one constant for the longest time, and that is the Comicast. So that I intend on being consistent with the most, which is posting that every week, even if it's not the same day, because it is at my convenience. And that's that. Videos, I'll try to do videos as often as I can, but that's also, like I said, with work, it eats up a lot of my time. And then I get overtimed. So then those are days I don't even get to come home. So usually, because it takes me a day or two, to edit this. And then just because I don't have that much free time. So whatever the length is of this, it takes double the time to edit it usually. So like I said, I don't have a lot of free time. So then I have to break that up into usually 2 different days. And that's how that goes. And then I don't have a lot of time to edit video, and video takes even longer because it's visual and it's audio, not just one or the other. So, and then you have to add a lot of stuff and move a lot of stuff. It's a pain. It's a huge pain. People don't realize that it's a huge pain to edit video. It really is, especially to make a really top-notch, solid, crazy fun video. It's really hard to do. It takes a lot of effort at the least. So, and I don't have that time. I really don't. I legitimately, it's one of those things where like my wife and I have been sharing the same days off. So I've been hanging out with her. I've been just living in the moment with her, going like, instead of ignoring my wife and doing this, editing videos, I'm spend time with my wife, so that when I can't, like these next few weeks coming up, I can focus on this 100%. So, and that's what I'm going to do, or try to. That and like catch up on video games. Still, once again, like enjoy life, not just videos and stuff. But I will try to catch up on videos. So yeah, there's that. And then just, catch up with friends too. Just like I said, enjoy life. Be part of the living force, yeah. So I know it's weird. But anyways, so that's the deal with why there hasn't been a lot of content being put out. So because as you've seen, I'm the guy. Slay J edits the Nerdy After Darks, but I'm the one that posts them on the website, and then literally I do everything else. So that's that. Anyways, you can check all of our stuff out at TNTMTheShow website, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube. That's where all of our videos are. So we're at least putting up like 1 or 2 videos a week. So this as one of them, and then usually another. So yeah, trying to at least. And we'll see what we can do more in the future. So like I said, talk nerdy to me, I'll talk nerdy to you, and keep your ojos hungry, folk. Comics.